in that sentence. I'm struggling with my words. Right, I'll mute the sound and we're ready to wall. Sound like Jonathan Moss. Right, so look at the waist warmed up first of all. So having a weight to hand, I'm going to take the feet wide, a little bit wider than the hips. Turn your right foot out to the side and turn your hips to the front. Hips pushing over to the left. You're going to come into just a little nice easy side bend first of all. You're pulling your elbow up towards the ceiling and you're sliding your hand either down towards the toes or starting to ease away to the side. Now keep the hip pushing over to the left. So you're starting to get a little stretch on the inner thighs. And as you push the elbow up to the ceiling, get a little stretch into your waist. It's going to be a very well worked waist today. Breathe out as you reach. And give me 2 more. Last time. Over to the other side. So just turn your right foot forward, left foot out to the side, turn the hips to the front, and if you need to, you can bring your foot further forward to help you square up the hips. And then just start to go again. Now as you bend to your side, what you're doing is pulling your ribs away from the hips. If you let your hips move, we're not getting as much stretch into the waist. And again, we're just trying to get a little bit of length, a little bit of warmth. You can take it down to the toes. You can start to reach out to the side. So it's a nice big scoop. Scooping away. Keep those legs nice and strong. Keep looking forwards. Try not to look at the hand. And 2 more again. And then we're ready for some side bends first. So bring your feet in under your hips with your weight just in your right hand. So we do side bends as warm-ups normally, but today with a little bit of extra weight, a little bit more work in your waist here. Right hand to your head. Pull the shoulders back, tuck under your tailbone. Weight into the heels, ease down so you're stretching here, and then pull your ribs back towards your hips. So we're going to go as far as we can from one side over to the other. So we're getting the work from both sides of our waist. And as you bend over to your left, feel your ribs squashing down towards your hips. And it's those waist muscles that are pulling the weight back up. So again, keep the weight in the heels. Breathe in as you ease down. Relax your right shoulder. Now keep tucking under with your tailbone. So again, your hips perfectly still. So all the movement is your waist, both ways. You start to let the hips rock, you won't feel anything in the waist. And you want to feel it all in your waist. It's just your warm up, remember. 2 more. And then stay. Changing sides. So again, just to reset your shoulders, like you're between 2 panes of glass. Anchor into the heels, ease down, and then pull all the way over with your elbow. So if we start to think about where the work comes from, as you're lowering down and these ribs move away from the hips, it's these muscles here that you're pulling yourself back into the centre and you're pulling yourself a little further over. So it's almost like you're doing a crunch through your waist. Again, give your bottom a little squeeze. That's going to help to keep the hips still and it's going to focus all the work into the waist. Then try and find a stretch. So you can ease down a little bit further. You can breathe in as you go down and out breath as you pull back up. 2 more and then we're going to move into windmills next. And your last one here. Stepping your feet a little wider. Keep your weight in your left hand and bring your left hand to your shoulder. If you struggle with the weight up here, bring it down into your right hand. Again, you push the hip across. Right foot's to a diagonal so it helps keep the hips forward. And you're going to push up to the ceiling and bring the elbow back in line with the shoulder. Again, you're keeping the hips still. A little harder, turn the head and look up towards your weight. But bring your eye gaze to the front here. Now breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Give your thighs a little squeeze and then go for that stretch. Feel like you're sliding your hand down towards your ankle. You're going to go another 5 on this side. up the waist, or waking up the waist, whichever one it is. 2 more. Changing sides. So your right foot forward, left foot turns, hip slide. Again, you can keep the weight in the left hand and reach down, a little harder in the right hand and pushing up. Focus on the legs, keep them still. Keep pressing down into your right heel as you push the arm up. Now you're trying to make sure your back doesn't round as you come down. So we keep your chest really open to the front and think about that length into the spine. Then again, you've got the option to turn the head. And as you look up towards the weight, that's going to bring a little bit more bite into our obliques. Give me 4 more here. Reach into the toes, bring the shoulders all the way back above your hips. 2 to finish. And then again, another way rest. Bring it in. Let's come down to the floor and we're going to come into a seated position and we're going to come into roll backs. Now, as we come into our roll backs, you've got the option to work with the weight or you can just work with your hands. If you work with your hands are going to be to the head and we're going to alternate reaching one arm forward and then the other arm forward. If you've got your weight, it comes onto your chest. Now we need to be on the sit bones first. Little tuck under with the tailbone. Keep the eye gaze forward, press the belly towards the back. Keep looking forwards and then touch the floor outside your right knee. Come back into your chest and then touch the floor outside your left knee. Now again, each time you roll backwards and forwards, keep the chin nodded in. Your eye gaze stays on your weight, even when it comes to your chest. Now you can stay small, or you can go a little bit bigger, rolling down towards your shoulder blades. But you're looking to twist as you roll up. So as soon as you start to lift, you're leaning over to your right or your left. Now watch the legs. Your legs are not going to roll from side to side. So the more you keep the knees still, the hips still, all the work in the tummy and your waist. Now use the breath in as you ease back. You've got it, out as you come forwards. Now we're going to stay on your next one, just to your right. So reaching over to diagonal, back into the chest and back over. Breathing as you roll back, out as you come across. Watch the legs don't move to help you get the weight across. You've got to push your left hand forwards. And the more you push that top hand, your left hand forward, the more you get crunch and work into your waist. And grimace in your face. Give me 2 more on this side. And then over to your left. Now push your right hand across to your left and then pull it back into your chest. Again, you don't have to come as far down. You can keep it small. Breathe out with each push forward. Breathe in slowly as you release back down. Give me 2 more on this side. It's time to feel the obliques. Perfect. You'll feel them for the next 3 days. Come all the way down. Rest your head. Bring both, you can put the weight down for now. Bring both knees up above the hips. If you prefer at any time, you can bring your feet onto the floor. Whether your feet are on the floor or above the hips, your knees are together. Take the arms out and anchor your shoulders. Roll to your right, extend your left leg. Come into the centre and extend your right leg. Now as you extend your leg, you're reaching your foot forward. So it's helping to keep the knees stacked. The back of the ribs, the shoulders stay grounded. So again, as you're twisting from side to side, all through the waist. Option is to take it into a double leg extension. Slowly. Now roll completely onto your right hip, so your left buttock lifts. Hips flat, over to your left buttock. And again, you feel the opposite hip lift off the ground. but you're going to bring that focus back to your shoulders. Both shoulders pressing down into the floor. Breathing out strongly each time. Now start to turn your head in the opposite direction to your legs. Feel how that stretches your waist just a little bit further. If you need to bring the legs down, take it to single legs. Choice is yours. But wherever you are, you've got one left on each side. And then rest both feet down into the middle. Still working single sides. Right knee above your hip, left foot lightly on the floor and your hands to your head. Extend your leg, flex your foot, lower it to the ground. Bring the knee in, reach forward. And if you struggle for any reason with the neck, you can just bring the hands to the head, keep the head rested and work with the legs. Now try and imagine your left foot, resting on your eggshell. So you're not pushing through that left foot as you lift. Now try and bring your nose right towards your knee, squashing your ribs right down towards your hips. 5 more on this side. 5. Out breath. Reach into the fingers. 2. Last one. Hold. Elbow, left elbow to your right knee. Extend. Twist. Extend. Left foot still resting on the eggshell. So let's see how light you can make your left foot, and see how far you can twist, bringing your elbow to meet the knee. You'll probably find that your right elbow touches the floor as you pull your right shoulder back. Still not pressing down to that left foot. 3 more. 2. Last time. And rest. Bring the leg in. Left knee lifts. Right foot back onto the eggshell. Again from here, extend your leg, flex the foot so the heel comes towards the ground. You can keep the head down if you need less. Or you can place one hand behind the head. Don't pull forward with the head, but just support the weight of the head. So it just helps you to keep that chin tucked in even when you go back. Now strong out breath. Let's make that right foot light again, like it's resting on thin ice. And you try not to push strongly down into that right foot, sorry. Ready to come back into obliques. Next one at the top, hold. Bring your hands to your head. Extend your leg. And as you bring the knee in, right elbow towards the left thigh. And in the centre, you're just coming back to here. Again, you can use your left hand here and just support the head. Or, if you're really struggling with the neck, rest the head down and then just reach the hand to the outside of your knee. Right foot's light. Your left elbow comes to the ground and really crunch across with your rib cage. 2 more. Last time. And rest. Just extend the legs. Pull your ribs away from your hips like you're trying to make your arms long. That's a nice little release. We're going to roll onto our side next. So from here, come into a side line position. As we come into side line, ankles, knees and hips in a nice straight line. Double leg lifts, so we're going to start getting to the obliques. Rest the head, pull your shoulder back, fingers lightly on the floor to begin with. Drawing your tummy in, you use your bottom leg to push the top leg up and ease down. So up and release, up and release. And when you release, it's just a little hover. So the legs lift, you're feeling that little crunch between your ribs and hips here at the top. Use the out breath with each lift. Now 5 more. Try and keep the fingers light. So shoes, knuckles going white. Hold it here and come to scissor legs. One leg forward, one leg backwards. As you're moving your legs, you can put your hand onto the hip. Keep the hips nice and still. And you want to feel here that you're still gently tucking under with your tailbone. Then we're going to add on a little bit more. So you can take the legs wider, but still keep the hips and above nice and still. Okay, open the legs, close, lift in the middle. Open, close, lift in the middle. 1, 2, 3, and down. Open, close, lift and lower. If you need to rest, you can take a rest. You can just keep going. Again, tomorrow or the day after, you might feel like someone's gave you a little kick in the ribs and those muscles are a little bit sore, but it's only because they're working so hard today. 2 more combos. Open, close, lift. Again. Open, stay here, sorry, and just pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Don't worry if you feel that in your inner thigh as well, it's perfectly fine. Let's try it on the other side when you're ready. So I take that roll over for the same combo, if I can. Maybe I'm thinking I'd wait to fix this morning. Just crunching up cornflakes. Right, so lining everything to begin with. Ankles to ears, head rested. We'll reset through the shoulders. Push that top hip away and draw the abdominals in. Use the bottom leg, just push up and release to a hover. You can try it with a hand on the hip. If you start to feel like you're rocking backwards and forwards, like me, then you can just place the hand lightly onto the floor. Use that bottom leg, push up the top. Use the out breath with each little lift. Try not to let the feet separate. Sometimes that top leg wants to lift higher. We're just trying to keep those feet together. 2 more little lifts. And then scissor in your legs. 1 forward, 1 back. Now again, everything from the hips and above should be staying fairly still. Using your core muscles to stabilise, especially into your obliques. So you feel that top hip slightly pushing away from your rib. No tension in the neck or the shoulders. If you need to, you can bring your hand back down here if you're really, really wobbly. Or you can keep it here on the hip. Got a little connection into your core. A piece of string pulling your belly button back towards your spine. Ready for the double leg lift in the middle. Hold, lift, don't roll over, and then open. And if you're like me and you're super wobbly today, hand back on the ground. So you split the legs, close them, and lift. Open the legs in the opposite direction, and lift. Breathe in, out with a lift. Again. In, out on the lift. And again, a little bit wider. 2 more combos. Feeling that inner thigh today. Staying in the middle. 10 pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All the way down. Right, so we can come to some little planks with a little twist. So from here, we're going to come face down onto the floor first. Elbows underneath your shoulders. Pull the shoulders back, so again you've got your shoulders set, neck nice and long, and never let the head drop. You don't want these muscles to lengthen, we're trying to keep them strengthened and switched on. Let's press down with the elbows, so your shoulders again switch on. Pull up with the hips, so hips are in line with shoulders. Little tuck under with your tailbone, and lengthen from the tailbone to the top of the head. Now from here, we're just going to turn to the front. So your top leg straightens and open the arms. Both knees come back to the floor, both elbows under your shoulders. Turn to the back. Now you're trying to turn your body as one unit. So you're keeping your shoulders and your hips square here. And roll again onto the opposite elbow, and then bring the elbow back under your shoulder. Keep gently drawing the tummy in. Now your option is to do this from your toes. If you're doing it from your toes, you turn to the sides of your feet and then back down to your elbows, onto the toes, back onto the sides of the feet, and we add on a little pulse to the hip. So again, from knees or toes here, pulse the hip up for 3, 2, 1, turn back to the ground, turn back to the other side and pulse. 3, 2, 1, and if you need less, just simply come back onto the knees and still work that same little pattern. Every time you turn to the floor, lengthen the back of the neck, so that when you turn, you've still got the length through the neck, all the way through your spine. Once more, each side. Press down through the elbow, pull up with the hip. 3, 2, 1. Ease down slowly. Elbows under shoulders. Little turn and a big pulse. 3, 2, 1. Turn to the ground. Bring the hands in under your shoulders, knees in under your hips. A little bit of rotation here to finish. Your right arm under your left. Don't let the shoulder drop to the floor. You want to keep gently pushing into this left arm and the shoulder sitting over the heel of your hand. So you turn and then draw the shoulder back. You keep your tailbone tucked under. So as you're rotating again, through the upper back, you're getting work into your obliques. If you let the hips rock from side to side, you're not getting the stretch as well as we could. So you've always got to think about where the muscles attach. And that's what we're trying to keep still, is the pelvis. So then when we move the upper body, the muscles get a really big stretch. Add in the opposite leg. So slide your leg back, bring the knee into the middle, but don't let that head drop below your shoulders. Feel the back of your body, squeeze into the shoulder, squeeze your glutes as you kick back. 2 more on this side. Last time. Hand down, weight forward, tuck, pull back. Again, try not to let the hips rock. Think about your weight staying even in both feet, in both knees even. And then when you're ready, you can add that kick back, come to a hover and kick back. Keep thinking length through the neck, through the spine, all the way down to those toes. And again, for 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Draw the belly up to the spine. Tuck in with the chin and let the crown of the head hang. Keep that little tuck and just ease the hips back. And then come forward. Let your chest come forward this time. Draw the belly up, eyes to the thighs. Pull your hips back towards the heels. And then come forward and let the chest push forward. Resting in the middle. Tuck under the toes, walk your hands back, roll onto the heels, and you're on time. Just taking a nice big roll up through the spine. Oh, that was a fast core workout. Release the shoulders again. And definitely have a wrap. Let the arms just swing. But keep the weight into the heels, little squeeze into the bottom. So again, look at that release through your waist, all the way through your spine with a little glance over the shoulder if you can. And 1 more each side. And now you can put your feet up for the rest of the day. After you've applauded yourselves, well done, ladies and gents.